All right, and welcome back to Love Restore. I'm your favorite host, Marshaun Olaniyan. Thank you so much for being here with me. You are listening or watching, okay? KCCR Brownstone Cityscapes Radio. So thank you so much for tuning in today, whatever time you are listening slash watching this episode. So we have been talking about dating over 40. And before you jump back into the dating scene, we've been talking about several topics to lean into before you decide to date again in 2025, in order for you to become better, in order for you to do things differently in a better way, so you can stop attracting the same riffraff, as I like to call them, and start to attract someone that is really in your corner, that really understands your core values, where they align very similarly, if not 100%, then very, very high in alignment, where the two of you can actually think about and understand how to build a life together. So this is where we come into play. And today we are talking about understanding your reasons for dating, right? I want you to understand why you want to get back into dating. And there are many people that are going to have several different reasons why they want to date. But before we jump hard and heavy into understanding your reasons why you want to date, let's talk about Love Restored and who I am. So first of all, again, I'm Marshaun Olaniyan. Outside of Love Restored, I'm actually a shift relationship strategist where I coach professional Black women in all of their relationships to help them to show up differently using tailored strategies so they can cultivate beautiful, loving relationships. And I say that because under God, at least in my opinion, the most important relationship is the relationship with you and God. The second most important relationship is the relationship that you have with self. The third relationship is the relationship that you have with your significant other. And then we keep going down the line, being your child or children, and then other people. So with that being said, that's who I am. That's who I serve outside of Love Restore. So if you need some coaching and you're ready to take the next step, reach out to me outside of Love Restore at my email, which is Marshaun@MarshaunOlaniyan.com. You can see my name down below. It's Marshaun at first name, last name, MarshaunOlaniyan.com. Reach out to me and we can talk about what it looks like to work together. Again, using tailored strategies for where you're at in your life. Now, I decided to start Love Restore because I didn't get any direction. When I was growing up, I came out here into the dating world. I butt my head too many doggone times for me to count. And I was sick and tired of not understanding how to be in a relationship, what it actually took, how to attract better so I can stop repeating the same behaviors over and over again. And so I decided to collect a lot of information. I've read dozens upon dozens of books. I've taken plenty of online courses. I've talked to some of my exes. I've actually interviewed several of them and to ask them why we didn't go to the distance, go to the next level. And they gave me some really insightful explanations as to why. The information that I gathered from me reading the books, taking the online courses, talking to my exes, and let's be real, all of them were not exes. Some of them were situationships. And I wanted to really get a better understanding of why we didn't go to the next level, because I had to make a informed decision, a tough one. I had to look myself in the mirror and understand that I was the only common denominator in all of those relationships. And I wanted to stop making the same mistakes over and over again. I really wanted to turn my mistakes into lessons. And so I decided to start Love Restored to showcase and share some of my own experiences as well as what I've learned over these years. And I say years, it's really decades at this point. I'm probably coming closer to 20 years of studying this, and about 5 or 6 years into helping clients, because it's that important. And some people just don't know. None of us know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. And so just like, and this is the way that I like to frame it, just like when you go to school to get a degree, or even let's bring it on back to a diploma, you went to school to get that information because you had no idea what you needed to know. It's the same thing with a coach. You don't know what you need to know. And so I am a relationship coach, but maybe you go to a fitness coach, right? So in fitness, you're going to the fitness coach because you don't really understand what it takes to have a fit body. In theory, you may know, but in actual doing it, the application of it, you suck at it or just don't know. So it's not just about working out. It's about what you're putting into your body. I mean, what are you eating? It's a lot of different things. So I'm saying that because we will go to a lot of facets and areas in our life to get the help. But sometimes when it seems like the relationship piece of your life may suck because you have not leaned into going to someone who has the information that can help you get to the next stage. So here I am. Now let's jump back into your reasons and understanding your reasons for dating. Re-entering the dating scene after 40 can be a thrilling opportunity for self-discovery and connection. However, understanding your reasons for dating is a foundational step that ensures you approach this new chapter with confidence and clarity. Understanding your why, yes, why, WHY, allows you to approach dating with clarity, with intention, and with self awareness, helping you to avoid unnecessary heartbreak and attracting who aligns with your values and your goals. Because it's not just about finding someone to date. That's not what we're doing. It's about making sure your intentions align with your goals and the type of life that you want to build. So here's why you should explore your reasons for dating and why this matters. The first thing is you want to avoid these pitfalls. When you understand your why, you're less likely to settle for less or even entertain situations that don't even serve you. So you can avoid pitfalls, wasted time, wasted energy, giving away your body to yet another person that didn't deserve. You can avoid all that stuff. The second reason why you should explore your reasons for dating is the empowerment that it actually brings to you. Clarity. Knowing your why gives you control over your decisions and dating experiences. You don't have to just lean into whomever comes your way because you know what you want out of your life, out of dating. You're not just dating to have fun. You are dating with intention. You are dating for a purpose. And you know that if the person or people that come your way that don't seem like they are going to add to your life, you are more willing and have the capability to walk away without feeling like you need to seem and even sound needy because you haven't dated in quite some time. Nobody has looked at you like this. Nobody has made you feel like this for a moment. You don't want to waste your time, especially if it's been a period of time before, since someone has looked at you or made you feel that way, made you feel beautiful, sexy, attractive, etc. You don't want to waste your time. The third reason why you want to explore dating is about your intentionality. This being intentional helps you to avoid aimlessly dating, and it allows you to focus on what truly fulfills you. The fourth reason is honesty. Honesty with yourself, honesty with the person that you are possibly dating or want to date further to see where this goes. Honesty. Being clear about your reasons creates a foundation for open communication with potential partners. It allows you to be able to go in and ask intentional questions, not make it an interview, but ask intentional questions to be able to watch his behaviors, to watch the treatment of others, including the treatment with yourself. And then when you go away from the person, basically the two of you separate for the night, for the evening, for a few days, whatever, then you're able to go into your quiet place, allow the endorphins to settle down so you can clearly make a decision to say, you know what? I actually felt really great in his company, or I didn't feel great at all. I don't feel like he know anything about me because he was just talking too much. Like, excuse me. I had this happen to me recently. Recently, I decided to give this guy my number, and he approached me in a manner that was, suitable. So I was like, okay, cool. All of this is to say, by the time we got on the phone, he talked so much. It took him about, I want to say 30 minutes easy before he decided to ask anything about me. And after a while, I just was starting to wait to see how long it was going to take. And I was just like, dang, 30 minutes. Honestly, I think it was a little bit longer. I'm saying 30. I think I remember it to be 40. And I was just like, why am I still on this phone? But I genuinely wanted to see how long it was going to take him to ask me about me. And so it was in that 30 to 40 minute mark. I can't remember how long. And then he did ask me a few questions about me and we had a conversation. But because because I know what my intention is, I know what my standard is, I know what I want. I want to actually be heard. I don't want it to be 30 to 45 minutes before I get a chance to tell you even more about me. Or maybe we're in a relationship and then it takes you 30, 45 minutes to ask me about my day. Or you see that I'm pissed off, but because you're so into yourself, you don't care about me being pissed off. You don't address me. You only go into you. Now, I was just like, nah. So when I was in my 20s, stuff like that, I didn't realize or recognize it as what I would say a red flag is for me. You talking too much, not asking me about me, I'm gonna have to like try to insert myself, and then you're gonna be saying that I'm rude because I'm jumping in like too much. If you don't know the ping pong game by now, you say something, you ask a question, I answer, and maybe I ask you that same question or ask you another one, so we both feel heard. We feel like we actually is starting to build some type of compatibility / foundation here. If you don't know the ping pong game by now, and I'm 47, and he was roughly, let's say, around that age, so he should know the ping pong game by now. He don't know the ping pong game. I don't have time to teach you. That's not where I'm at in my life. I don't have time to teach you. So yeah, I had to be honest with myself. Am I willing to do this with him? Nah. He already gonna be too much work. So I decided to move on, and you have to know what your reasons are. And so when I was starting to explore why I wanted to date, this was one of the things I had to be honest with myself. I know that I am dating with it, and I'm being intentional about the people that I allow around me into my life, and especially around my little one. And as of right now, no one has made the cut. Not that I'm being any type of thing. It's just, they haven't made the cut. That's just where I'm at. And it's so much other stuff, but that's neither here nor there. This is not about me, okay? This is about your reasons and understanding what your reasons are when you get back out there in the dating scene for 2025. So here are some questions. One of the questions that you should ask yourself is, what do I truly want right now? And this is going to be different for everybody. So are you looking for fun? That's okay. Yeah, that's where you at. You looking for companionship? Are you looking for something long term? But understanding this helps you to be able to communicate this openly and honestly with a potential partner. Because maybe you're not at the stage of something serious, but maybe the person that you date, that you go out on this date or dates with, is. And so right there, you two are not on the same page. And you may feel cheated because you wanted to have fun. And he may feel cheated if the two of you decide to go any further than this first or second date when you get this information. He may feel cheated because he's looking for something long term. But you, again, may feel cheated because you're not. You want to go out there and just have fun, whatever fun is for you. So you'll be able to openly communicate your reasons by you just understanding what it is that you want. Another question that you should ask yourself is, am I seeking validation? So are you dating to feel desired or valuable? And if so, consider ways to boost your self-worth independently outside of dating. If you're only going on dates to feel desired or valuable, you need to figure out how you can make yourself valuable before you go out on another date, because you ain't ready. You're actually going to look for external forces to validate you as a person. That's not something that you should be doing. You should already know these things before you get out there into the dating scene. This is why it's so important for you to have clarity about what it is that you want and where you're at in your life currently. Another question to consider is, what lessons have I learned from the past? Now, this is not just your past relationship. It should be every relationship that you were in, including but not limited to, let's be real, situationship, one night stand, all of those things that you were in. What have you learned from the past? Reflect on, of course, like I just said, reflect on those previous relationships. What worked and what didn't work out of those relationships. And use these lessons to shape your current approach. So say, for instance, you were a person that was super needy, whatever needy looks like to you. But needy to me is someone that always needs to be in the face and in the space of their potential partner, the person that they're dating. They don't give them any me time. They want to be up under them all the time. They get mad when they want to go hang out with the guys. They get mad when they want to take a trip without her. So depending on where you at, right? What lessons have you learned from that? So if you're needy and you did any or all of the things that I just mentioned, how are you going to counter that so you no longer show up as a needy person in the relationship? So you can read some books about neediness, right? You can start to lean into your own hobbies, right? You can start to, the time that you know your significant other wants to take away, you could think about some of the things or thing that he did not want to do with you, and then do that. Make it your time to care for you, to put life in back into yourself, right? So there are plenty of things that you can actually do while he's gone, instead of coming off as the needy woman who can't allow him to breathe without you being right next to him. So whatever your thing is, whatever your past lesson or lessons that you learned, how will you counter them? And these are all great journal questions that maybe it's time for you to, sit down, be real with yourself, get out your tea or coffee, whatever it is, or let's be real, some wine, right? Take your little snack, put on some little soft music, and start to really take a nosedive, a deep dive into asking yourself some of these questions so you know the answers to them. So when you do say, okay, I am ready to date, and whatever your dating life looks like in that moment, now you'll be able to go out there and be very conscious about the type of dating life that you want, and you want others to see you in that moment. Another question is, and this one is a really big one, is, am I emotionally ready to be in a relationship? Are you open to building a deep emotional connection? Or do you still need to work on trusting again? This one's big. Because if you're not emotionally ready to be in a relationship, you should sit down somewhere. Yeah. Because not being able to handle your big emotions is breeding nothing but toxicity to the entire atmosphere. You're not ready. If you are emotionally attached to someone else still, there's no way that you should be out there dating. You're not ready because you have yet to detach yourself from your previous partner. Which brings me to shameless plug, the book right behind me. You Can Get Over Your Ex. You can get over your ex. It is time for you to get over your ex. That book is all about you making a decision to get over your ex and what's stopping you from getting over your ex. They are literally journal prompts to help you to understand what went wrong, not just all about what he didn't do. It's about what you did and didn't do as well, and why you chose that person, and why you stayed so long, and why you're still attached to a relationship that is no more. I am going to link. I'm sorry. You should see it in the show notes somewhere. The link to this book right here. You Can Get Over Your Ex, because you absolutely can get over your ex. You just have to know which questions to ask yourself in order to really think why you are staying stuck and attached to someone that is no longer in your life. They are an ex for a reason. So if you are not ready for big emotions, and you are still emotionally attached to someone else, Sit down somewhere before you go out there and try to date anyone else, because you are not ready to date. This is why it's so important to ask yourself these questions before you jump into the dating scene, not after. Another question to ask yourself is, what role does companionship play in my life? So are you seeking a partner to complement your full life? Again, full life. You should already have a full life when they come into your life. A lot of people don't, which is why so many of them get in trouble, as far as being clingy and or needy and or asking all of these questions that don't make sense to ask. That's how I'm gonna leave it. Okay, my opinion. You cannot expect someone to fill the gaps in your happiness. So what role is companionship playing in your life? If you're looking for somebody to make you happy, you are not ready to date. Happiness is a choice, and it's something that you must decide to be and to have, whether or not you are in a relationship. It does not matter if you're in a relationship. You have to decide to be happy. Happiness is an internal thing, not external. There are a few more questions. Another thing is, am I comfortable setting boundaries? This one, clients have a tough time doing, but not after they work with me. Before, when they first come to me, they're like, well, I set the boundary, but I don't enforce, or I don't even set the boundary and then I'm mad. So are you comfortable with even setting boundaries? And then definitely, are you comfortable enough to enforce said boundary that you set? Because dating often comes with ups and downs. So are you ready to face the rejection and or the differences with grace? Or is this something that's going to be a problem for you? If you're not ready to set and enforce boundaries, you're not ready to date. Dating, any relationships come with big emotions, and you need to be able to handle these things with purpose, with intention, with grace, being able to ask more clarifying questions instead of just jumping to conclusions, allowing the other person to tell you what actually is happening instead of you allowing your mind to write the story for you. And then you feel like you already know what the answer is, but you don't have a doggone clue. But because your emotions are too big and you don't know how to get them simmered down so you can think clearly, this is where people get into trouble. If you are not emotionally detached from the other person and or can handle big emotions, you shouldn't be dating nobody. Another question, am I open to new experiences? Are you? Are you willing to try new things and to meet new people? Are you willing to go to different places in order to try to attract somebody that has better qualities, that you deem to have better qualities, instead of the men that you have met previously? If you're going to the same spots, same club, the same outings all the time, and you're expecting to meet someone different, you're probably not. You're probably going to get the same type of person that you're trying not to get. So are you ready to put yourself out there? Even if you have to go by yourself. And this is secret. This is one of the things I actually tell my clients to do. Because when you're with a group of women, a lot of times that man is not going to approach. So you either need to break away from the group, get his attention while you're away, or go by yourself. It increases your chances of just striking up a conversation and speaking with someone that you didn't even know that you would like in that way. You didn't even know that you would. And yet you two are there conversing and finding out that you have so much in common. And next thing you know, you're exchanging numbers and now you're out on your first date. That doesn't happen a whole lot when you're with a group. Yes, it can happen, but it doesn't happen a lot, especially if you are a woman that does not do the approaching to the man because you believe that he is the only one that should approach. That's a different video altogether because, you got to do you. But if you are that person, you need to go by yourself because you have a higher chance of being approached by yourself than you are with a group. Next question. Do I feel whole on my own? Good question. Relationships are more fulfilling when both individuals feel complete and secure within themselves. Do you feel secure with yourself? Can you be by yourself, not needing to converse or talk or share anything? Can you be in the room with people and still feel comfortable being there, not feeling out of place? Like there is something that needs to be inserted into that dead space, meaning nobody's talking. Can you feel comfortable? So do you feel whole by yourself, secure and complete before you enter a relationship? If you don't, you shouldn't be dating. This increases your chances of attracting someone just like you. If you are complete, whole, and secure, you're more than likely going to attract complete, whole, and secure. If you are insecure, have toxic behaviors, that is who you will more than likely attract. The last question is, am I looking to date solely for sexual exploitation? It's okay if you are, it's just you have to know that. So is dating about reigniting intimacy or exploring your sexuality? You have to be real with yourself. Which one is it for you? Understanding this guide can guide you toward partners who respect your boundaries and your needs. But you have to know what you want, what you need. You have to know that. So now let's talk about needs. How do you process your needs? The first thing is to be patient. This process about creating intentionality, you don't have to rush it. It's a process for a reason. When we're processing something, it takes time to do. There is a process in making a cake. A cake, you don't just put the ingredients together, put it in the oven, and it's done. No, you have to put it, get the ingredients, mix all of them together and all of the things that's needed in order to make this cake. Put it in the oven, wait for it to do what it does in the oven, bake on up, rise on up, and all the stuff that it does. And then you have to take it out. Maybe you decorate it. Maybe you cut it up and do some other stuff that cake person would do. And all the stuff that they would do to make this cake look amazing. But it's a process. It doesn't just happen in the blink of an eye. The second thing to process what you need is ask yourself the hard questions. Be honest about your emotional state, your readiness, and even your desires. As I mentioned before, if you are not ready, it's okay. You ain't ready. But don't go out there doing stuff that you don't need to be doing. What do you desire? Be intentional, but also ask yourself the questions that you may shy away from, because this is how you are going to attract better, by you understanding the complete and full person that you are before you go out into the dating world. The third way to process your needs is to talk with a trusted friend and or a coach. What you're doing here is not leaning on other people's opinions, but what you are doing is getting an outside perspective from someone who can guide you without you feeling like you are being judged. You don't have to be judged, but you do have to understand how to process the things that you actually need in this moment. Ask yourself some of these tough questions. Come back. If you are listening to this while you are driving, if you are listening to this while you are cooking and you found some value in it, I want you to do two things. The first thing is to share the video and or the radio station. Share it. Share the link. The second thing I want you to do is to journal, come back later, listen to this episode again. You can fast forward, whatever, but get the questions, open up your journal and ask yourself some of them questions. And I said two things, but this is the third thing. Don't forget to order your copy of You Can Get Over Your Ex, because that is going to give you even more specific and tailored questions for you to understand some of the things that is holding you back. It's going to help you to uncover even more lessons that you should have learned, so you can stop repeating the same habits and behaviors that were not serving you time and time again. So I want to thank you so much for taking these 30 minutes out of your day and wanting to learn about the reasons why dating is so important. I want you to, again, journal about writing your fears, your hopes, and your desires, and then Reflect on whether your motivations align with the type of relationship you envision yourself to have. Thank you so much for being here with me for these last 30 minutes. I am Marshaun Olaniyan. You are listening to KCCR Brownstone Cityscapes. This is Love Restored, and we have finished up another episode of Dating Over 40. We're going to come back here next week and talk about another thing that you should do before you start dating in 2025. I love you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it, and I will see you next week.